Did you know cats can benefit from fitness routines and massage therapy just like we do? These practices can improve their posture, mobility, and overall health, while also increasing confidence and the bond you share. I'm excited to dive more into what these practices are and what they mean for our cats with today's guest, Sarah Keller of Sit, Stay, Squat. Sarah is a multi-certified canine fitness trainer, certified professional dog trainer, corrective exercise specialist, and certified feline body worker. She has a special interest in feline fitness and how corrective exercise strategies can help to improve a cat's posture, movement, and quality of life.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here, Sarah. I'm so excited to learn more about this niche topic. It's definitely not something you hear much about, so I'm excited.
Yes, thank you so much.
So, first, tell us a little bit about yourself and your pets. Everyone always likes to hear about the pets that everyone has at home.
Yeah, so I have a 2-year-old adventure kitty named Bones and a approximately 10-year-old foster dog named Uno.
Nice. So, your cat is an adventure kitty. What kind of adventures do you guys go on?
He has been, since I got him home at 8 weeks, I've put him on the harness. We've gone out on leash walks. He enjoys like being in his backpack for hikes, and he is just the greatest little buddy for training with. He has been so much fun ever since I brought him home, doing fitness training and tricks, and he's just a wonderful, brilliant demo kitty.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, feline fitness, well, pet fitness in general, even for dogs too, it's not something that's super common. How did you get into this? How did you start your business?
It was kind of a long, windy road to kind of get where I'm at now. It originally started almost a decade ago, just as the idea of working out with my dog. I have experience as a human personal trainer, and that was my background. And I just thought that would be a super fun idea. So started that way, and then I started learning more about the canine specific fitness and how we can actually really help dogs improve their posture, movement, joint alignment, that sort of thing, and just how beneficial that is for our pets. And yeah, then I got my kitty cat, and I thought, well, why not do it with him too?
Yeah, well, I love that. I know cats, a lot of times get overlooked and things people don't realize too that cats can do a lot of the things that dogs do too. So I love that you were, just like, well, why not?
Yeah, right? I'm like, I pretty much treat you like a dog anyways, going on the leash walks and whatever. Let's do all the fun stuff. I think it's only really fair, right? We do so much for our dogs, and yeah, cats are kind of left behind when it comes to enrichment and exercise.
Yeah. So what is feline fitness?
Well, it comes, I guess, from my certifications in canine fitness, and I'm also certified in feline body work. So I guess combining those two together. So we start off with body awareness skills, putting their front feet on a target, rear feet on a target. We can practice the postures themselves. So working on good standing posture is really good for the stabilizer muscles throughout the body. We can work on, cats are really powerful athletes. We see them jumping vertically all over their cat trees. We can focus on power exercises like that to make jumping comfortable long term, flexibility exercises, especially if they're going to be jumping around a lot. We're going to want to stretch those muscles because they do get tight muscles as well. Yeah, lots of body awareness, flexibility, core stability. We'll do muscular strength, backup, sidestepping, that sort of thing. And the goal is to just keep our cats healthy for as long as possible.
Yeah, so basically it's just like fitness for humans, right?
Exactly.
We work out to be in shape and physically fit to be able to do the activities we want to do and to be able to do them, well into our older years. Because
Totally.
the more active we are in our younger years, the more agile we'll be later. So it's kind of the same for our pets, is what you're saying?
Totally. Like for humans, I'm a human corrective exercise specialist. So I use a lot of those same protocols with pets. So the idea is, we want to have good joint alignment. So we're not having opposing muscles be too tight and too tight on one side and weak on the other side, and bringing our joints out of alignment. That's going to increase the chances of developing osteoarthritis and other sorts of injuries. And yeah, just kind of applying those same principles that we use in humans with our pets, because they deserve to feel comfortable for a long time too.
Yeah, it's so interesting because, I mean, I know I've never really thought much about it, like making sure my cats stretch and things like that. So, yeah, it's really, really intriguing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a lot. I mean, I'll tell people what I do for work, and they're like, "That's a job." Like, it is a job. And yeah. So, and another part of my business, I mean, I am fitness trainer and massage, but I'll also work with a lot of cats and dogs post surgeries or post injuries alongside their veterinarian team. So that can be a huge asset when a cat is recovering from something and they need to do specific movement patterns to help them recover. And being able to know how to train a cat, how to do things, is very, very valuable in rehab.
Yeah. So, kind of like physical therapy, I guess.
Yeah, it's I'm not a physiotherapist or a veterinarian, so I have to be really careful, like what I say in that regard. But I do work alongside other professionals, and I do similar modalities as to what a physiotherapist would do.
Yeah. So I don't know, I guess a lot of times when people have heard of physical therapy for dogs and cats that have been injured, but feline fitness is not just for a pet that's had an injury or a disability or has some sort of physical limitation. It's for any cat, all cats.
I have a lot of fun working with the healthy cats. That's definitely my preference, just because we can just have so much fun with our cats, right? I mean, just the training alone is just so bond building. And my cat, I don't think I've ever met such a confident cat in my life. I'm like, I don't know who you think you are, but I do think like the fitness is part of it, and just being rewarded for doing the things and kind of seeing what he can do with himself. And yeah, even just, cats, like your regular pet cat, I see so many pets where the owners don't seem to think anything is near being close to wrong, but then I'll look at the animal and they're just not moving efficiently, or their posture's a little off. And yeah, implementing the fitness exercises, kind of, if they're showing that stuff or not, can help to reduce the risk of further issues with our pets in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's very cool. Does the fitness aspect of things differ much between cats and dogs, or do they do a lot of the same things?
So we do a lot of the same things. With cats, I have found I have to, especially in the beginning, keep the sessions so short. Like, I'm talking like 2 minutes. Whereas with a dog, usually they'll participate for like half hour with us, even their first go. But with the cats, I find I got to keep it really short, allow them to opt out if they want to, and I have to make it super valuable for the cat. It's super clear for the cat, because at least with my cat, if he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. So I really got to make it worth his while. Whereas I find with the dogs, like, sometimes you got to make it worth their while too, but the dogs are almost more eager to please, I guess. Whereas I feel like my cat doesn't have that as much as my dog does. Yeah, so keeping it very short and then very high value. So my cat Bones really loves the churu tubes. So something super delicious. It's like, yes, I want to do the thing so I can get the treat. And yeah, just, keeping it as positive as possible throughout the entire sequence. So if a cat does something that, maybe that wasn't quite exactly what I'm looking for, but they are really trying, still rewarding that, so they want to continue participating with us. Yeah, and I found with cats, I've had to break things down into smaller chunks than I usually would with dogs, but that does be beneficial long term, and it keeps the cats wanting to participate. Like, my cat will just go sit over by the fitness equipment and start meowing at me. Like, he really enjoys doing it. And I've found dogs can be maybe a little bit easier to train in the beginning. But with the fitness, what I have found really interesting, kind of seeing the comparisons, is cats are just, or like my cat is just beautiful with a lot of the core stability and the power exercises and the flexibility exercises. And he surpasses dogs that I know that they're quite advanced in fitness. And I think just that cats' bodies are really quite athletic and they're built for power and flexibility. So it's just been interesting seeing trying exercises with my cat that are very, very advanced, and him doing really well with it off the bat. And I think a lot of that just has to do with how cats are made, like how their structure is built.
Yeah, I mean, they are very different physically, cats and dogs. And like you said, cats, they're so I don't know, acrobatic,
Yeah, little
athletic.
gymnasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are, and their flexibility and everything, I imagine, lends them to be able to do these physical tasks that you ask them to do pretty
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I love what you're saying about making sure that your sessions are short and positive. You want to end them on a positive note. I know, and that kind of goes back to what you're saying about how your cat is so confident and you think the fitness has helped. I found that to be really true with my cats. I do a lot of clicker training and adventure training and stuff with my cats, and the difference that I've noticed in them and their confidence levels after doing those things is so great. Once shy cat is now much more comfortable, and these types of activities, I think the more we do with our cats, whether it's fitness, clicker training, adventure, it really does a lot for their confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah, and just I think their well-being overall. Like I do have empathy for a lot of house cats. I think it's boring, it's kind of boring to just be like a pet all day, especially because we don't usually think about doing clicker training or going for walks and stuff with our cats. But to just hang out and do nothing all day, like I don't know, that doesn't interest me, right? Like, and so I try
Yeah,
to think about with my cat, and like I want to make sure that he's having really good days too.
yeah, yeah, I love that. um so are there more benefits to fitness? We've touched on it builds confidence and it's good for their bodies. What other types of benefits does feline fitness have for cats?
I would say the main one that I go about the most is going to be the benefits for the bodies. Exercise can help, reduce, let me say that again. Targeted exercise can help to reduce the risk of arthritis. If we're being crazy with the wand toy and stuff, that's not going to reduce the risk of arthritis.
Yeah.
That might could contribute a little bit more, but just I would say that the physical benefits are very huge. And I would also say just the bonding time with my cat, like it's been very great. I just feel that we're better at communicating with each other after doing this sort of training together, and I've gotten better at reading his specific body language. So yeah, I would say the physical benefits of helping to reduce the risk of injuries, the mental benefits of mental enrichment and building confidence, and then just the bond building for the two of us.
Yeah, I love that. It's it's so, I don't know, interesting, I guess, that all these extra things that we do with our cats, like clicker training, fitness, adventuring, all have these amazing benefits, like you said, of bond building and confidence building. And I don't know, so many people complain about cats. People who don't like cats, usually say, oh, they're aloof. They don't connect. It's like, well, really, it's that you're not connecting with them. Like you're not making the effort,
Well, totally. Like because my cat, you gotta be like the most interesting thing to them, right? I feel like because my cat will go for walks and I'll take him to private off leash parks and stuff, and he has beautiful recall. And the reason is when I call him, like I make it worth his while, right? Like spending time with me is worth it for him to want to come and hang out with me. I'm not
Yeah.
just boring walking around. Usually when we're hanging out, he's having a good time. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned that your cat likes to go over and sit by the fitness gear. What kind of gear is required to do feline fitness?
So I have a feline fitness course, and there's some things that I consider I'm like, yeah, you're going to want to have this, and then some that's more optional. What I've really liked using with my cat is I found at just a hardware store these stools that are non-slip, and where am I? And they have adjustable height, and you can angle one of the legs in so the platform's at an angle. I really like using these types of stools because we can use it for front feet targeting, rear feet targeting, working on stand posture, and lots of different variations of sit to stands and stuff like that. And the cats can also crawl underneath it. So what I've been recommending is having 2 of these types of stools that I can send a link to afterwards if that works. And they've been really great for the feline fitness. But even, sometimes we have stuff around our homes that we can use. Yoga mats or cut up pieces of yoga mat, that sort of thing. So I really like to start with having a stable target when first learning the movement mechanics. And then we can progress to some of the more fun stuff. Some of the more fun stuff I've used with my cats, I really like the mini fit bones by FitPaws. So they're marketed towards dogs, but they're just these little balance bones. And the mini size for small dogs, I really like for my cat. It's really good size for him. And that just adds a little bit more of a balance challenge for him. I also really like these paw pods. They're little like half dome balance balls. And the idea is that the pet puts each foot on each individual pod, and the convex surface of the pods helps to really engage the muscles through their feet and their carpus all the way up the kinetic chain. That's been a really good one for my cat specifically because he had pretty weak feet when I first got him as a kitten. So I guess that would be it. I do like to start all exercises on stable surfaces and make sure we have the movement mechanics down and the understanding of the exercise before adding in another component such as instability with balance equipment. But yeah, I really like these stools, but you can also just start with cut up pieces of yoga mat or like horse feed bowls. And just kind of start working on putting our paws on things and then kind of advancing it from there.
Yeah. One of the things that I use in clicker training, because my cats trained to put their front feet like on like yoga blocks. Those work really well for clicker training. Is that something that could work for the fitness things too?
Yeah, that's actually, I haven't used, so the traditional yoga blocks I kind of got rid of because I don't like them for dogs. They are really high and have a tendency to tip, especially with a heavier dog. So I've purchased the yoga blocks. They're called foam chip yoga blocks that have just a little bit less height. So there's no real risk of tipping with them. With cats, I mean, they're probably light enough and, stable enough that they could do the traditional yoga blocks. But yeah, that's exactly it. Working on front feet on the yoga block, practice that for a few sessions until we build up the understanding of that, and then working on rear feet on the yoga block, which is always harder. Everybody struggles with those rear feet. And then we can start combining them. So doing both, then we can work on stand posture or adding in some different movement mechanics, different variations of sit to stand to target different muscles and that sort of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Training is obviously required to get your cat to do these things. Does it, I imagine, help if a cat already has some previous clicker training, some basic clicker training experience, or can someone start just with feline fitness without any previous training experience?
I started, so you don't need any prior experience with starting from the beginning with the cats. So I'll just start with a really simple treat toss and just start working on I use a marker word instead of a clicker, but if you use a clicker, you could use that as well. And so I'll toss a treat for my cat to go get. He gets the treat. As soon as he looks at me, I say yes, or I click, and then I toss another treat. And that's one of the first games I play. It's just getting into the habit of them understanding the marker word or the clicker and coming back to focus on us. It's also a fun one for the cats. They like going and chasing. So just something like that. And then I'll start working on name recognition and just keeping it all really, really simple in the beginning. Front feet on a target is also a really easy beginner one. And just really reinforcing that my cat is fabulous for trying this with me and his efforts are what really matters, and just keeping the really easy stuff as fun and positive as possible for them. So then they'll want to play along when we add in some of the harder stuff. And I also think that just sticking with the really easy stuff to begin with can be really good for people who maybe haven't trained with an animal before and just kind of figuring out our own mechanics and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've mentioned some of the, I guess, the easier exercises like pause on, pause off, and then standing on the domes. What are some of these more advanced moves you've hinted at? I'm intrigued
Yeah.
by what these
Um,
advanced moves are.
My cat amazes me sometimes when I try something with him. I'm like, oh, he's not going to get it. And then he does. And I'm like, oh, you're just the best. But we'll do stuff like I call them mountain climbers. So front feet on a stool. And then the cat lifts an individual rear foot up to the stool and then back down. And then the other one and back down. And I mean, doing the legs one at a time, that's really, really challenging
Wow.
sometimes for
Yeah.
dogs. Yeah. He does, we call them rock. Well, there's different variations, I guess, and we kind of build up gradually. But with canine fitness, we have rock back sits, which is where the front feet rock back into the sit and the hind end stays stationary. And the reverse is tuck sits, where the front end stays stationary, but the hind end tucks in. And then we can progress those by adding more elevation. So they're doing more of a plyometric hop up into a sit and a plyometric hop off into the stand. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some more advanced exercises with my kitty. What else we've done? I'm gonna see because I have actually some of my stuff up here, but
I'm impressed.
side step. Oh, he's done like pivoting. So a lot of dog sports will include pivoting, where the dog's front feet are on a feed bowl and then they sidestep their rear feet around. He can do that and sidestep up onto targets with his rear feet. And yeah, like a cone wraps, like circle around a cone, that sort of thing. A lot of the same stuff with dogs. I just find you almost need more patience if you want to teach it to a cat and just break it down a lot more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank
And
you.
you have a course where you
I
teach these
do.
things, right?
Yeah, I have it's an online course. It's called Feline Fitness, and it just starts right at the basics of, the treat toss, and then building our way up through the easy and moderate and then more advanced exercises. It also goes over just a bit of feline anatomy and some of the things I've noticed, differences between cats and dogs and that sort of thing. But it's been really cool because Bones is my first cat really as an adult. So to me, like, he's doing all these things and he's been so wonderful, but I'm like, well, is that just my cat? Can other cats do this? And it's been really cool offering the course, seeing that, yeah, like, so many cats can do it. And it's just really awesome seeing all these pet cats really getting into doing their exercises.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
how often do you do it? Is it like a daily thing or multiple times a day? Like what's a daily fitness schedule for you and your cat?
Yeah, so with my cat, I mean, my goal with my cat is that I do at least one thing a day with him every day that's special. So I mean, today we just went out for a leash walk for an hour, and that was kind of his exercise for the day. I usually with him do feeling fitness about every other day. It can depend on the individual cat, but I just don't want it to be his only source of enrichment. I like to include other things as well. But yeah, usually about 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes more. I mean, if the weather's poor, then we'll do fitness every day. But yeah, typically every other day or so.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Well, for those watching and listening, you can find Sarah's course on feline fitness on her website, sitstaysquat.ca. I've got the URL I can pop up for you. And you actually have several courses for dogs and stuff too. But the feline fitness course, I was looking at it the other day. It looks really awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's my only cat one right now. The cat courses don't seem to be as popular as the dog stuff. It's unfortunate because my cat it's super fun getting to do this stuff with him, and he has benefited a lot. I have a photo of him as a little kitty, and I was a little worried he wasn't going to get to be my little fitness demo guy because he had some pretty severe external rotation through his shoulder, and that was really turning his paw outwards, and just the alignment of one of his front legs just looked really, really wonky to me. And he was just a baby when I first started noticing it. So I was documenting photos and, like if this was a dog, what exercise would I do for that? And it was about 2 months afterwards of following exercises that help strengthen the muscles to pull the shoulder inwards. And it's just night and day difference, the joint alignment. He looks like a perfectly normal, healthy kitty with great joint alignment now. Yeah.
That's awesome. You mentioned at the beginning of the episode how cats can get tight muscles and stuff too. And so like they can get sore from like overworking, how we get sore if we exercise like a new exercise or overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
How can we tell if our cats are sore or tight? Because obviously they can't tell us. How can we know if that's happening?
That's a really good point. Cats are so good at hiding pain. They've got to be one of the best animals at hiding when they're in pain. What's unfortunate is osteoarthritis is very prevalent in cats. Like cats over 4 years old, they pretty much expect that they are going to have some sort of arthritic changes. I would say, any changes in behavior could possibly indicate pain, being more vocal, not wanting to jump up on their cat tree, either being more clingy or wanting more time with themselves, any changes with litter box, any changes with their food, any changes in the posture, how they hold themselves. Like if usually their back looks pretty flat and all of a sudden their back is really rounded, that could indicate that there's some pain. Yeah, I would say that those are probably the really big ones. And if they're maybe sleeping a lot throughout the day and just avoiding certain activities, those are usually pretty big signs that they're in pain. And yeah, even if you suspect maybe something, it's always worth going to your veterinarian, right? If I suspect something with my own pets, I'll kind of start feeling them over. And one thing that's really easy for owners to feel is if there's any areas of the body that feels hot to touch, that could indicate inflammation and be worth mentioning to the vet.
Yeah. So if we're doing these fitness activities with our cats, we just need to be careful. Like you said, you keep the session short. And I guess that also helps to make sure we're not like overworking, overstressing their bodies to, help prevent sore muscles and things like that.
Totally. Yeah. So when I start with cats, I usually start with about 2 minutes at a time. My cat can go for like a full half hour with his fitness now because the fitness itself has become really rewarding for him. And I have to be like, like we're done, like you're done. But yeah, keeping it short and just monitoring for anything that's different. The goal with the fitness exercises is that they would actually help improve mobility and comfort. So if we're seeing a worsening of symptoms after doing targeted exercise, then that would be a red flag to either modify the cat's exercise routine or take them to a veterinarian or different specialist.
Yeah. This kind of, at least I think, leads into the other type of service that you offer is the massage therapy. So I don't know, tell us about massage therapy for cats. How does that work and what are the benefits and, all that?
Yeah. So, massage for our pets has the same benefits it does for ourselves. It's going to help to reduce muscular tension, stiffness, and soreness. It can help to ease some of the muscular pain that's associated with arthritis. It can help to improve range of motion, increase blood circulation, decrease recovery time if our cats are super active, and increase relaxation. I would say the one that I mainly focus on is that it's able to decrease muscular tension. And so that's able to help our cats feel and move better. I'm certified as a canine massage therapist as well as a feline massage therapist. But I must admit that I see way more dogs than I see cats. I only have a small handful of cats that I see for massage. But it's pretty cool. Like, some of the cats, we don't get very long together, especially the first session. There's lots of breaks and just kind of letting the cat dictate the session and where I get to touch and that sort of thing. But I have one kitty client who gets very excited to see me. Like before I was massaging him, his owners were telling me that he didn't want to use his cat tree or come out and see anybody. And it was after his first massage session, he was like parkouring on his cat tree and like whatever to hear, right? And then I came over and he's just meow, 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 meow all the way over to me and came and sat on my lap and let me massage him for over an hour just. And then I was doing one side and I'm just like really quietly, I'm like, hey buddy, like I need your other side. And it was like, I don't, he just immediately flipped over to his other side and just, yeah. So it's cool. It's just with cats, they can just get overstimulated really easily as well. So I try to be really aware with both cats and dogs of their body language. I find cats are much more subtle with their body language. So I just like, as soon as I start seeing their tail flicking or something, I'll kind of like give them a chance to opt out. But yeah, with the massage as well, just being mindful of their body language and keeping it short, especially to start, I think is important.
Yeah, that's so cool that you were able to massage him for over an hour. I mean, I'm trying to imagine like trying to massage one of my cats and them sitting still long enough for that to happen. How does, I don't know, what is a typical massage therapy session for a cat like? How does it work?
It kind of depends on the cats. I really enjoy massaging senior cats because I find that they're more likely to just hang out. But it just kind of depends on the cat. Like typically I like to, so there's a question in there. I go to the client's home. So I do that for cats or dogs. I just couldn't imagine bringing a cat anywhere else. I don't think we'd be very relaxed for their massage. But yeah, usually I'll just kind of sit on the floor and just see, does the kitty want to come over to me? And if they do, like, start petting and just kind of seeing how that goes. I do have, I guess 2 cat clients where the owners will feed them Nuru while I'm massaging them, just to kind of keep them participating with me. But yeah, just doing what I can. Typically, I try to do a full body massage, but I find that cats get really overstimulated in their back and their hind end. So usually it's a bit safer to kind of stick around the shoulders and the neck. But it kind of depends on the individual. I have found there's almost more variance in cats, I find, like if they're going to be accepting of me touching their body compared to dogs. So yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. That's awesome that you do it in your home. I was wondering that myself, because most cats, especially if they're not cats that adventure and go places, going to a facility or someone else's home, the chances of that going well just seem so slim. So the fact that you went to their homes, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that makes a huge difference for their comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So both of these services, the massage therapy and the feline fitness, I mean, they're not yet anyway something that's common and widespread. How does someone go about finding a massage therapist or a fitness trainer for their pet?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it can depend on what you're hoping to get from it. So the first route to go if the pet is injured would be, well, first of all, I mean, we want to get diagnostics and get a definite diagnosis if there's an injury. And then you're going to want to work with a rehabilitation specialist. So that's either a veterinarian or a physiotherapist with additional credentials in typically canine rehab, or they might call it animal rehab. I don't know of any that are like specific to cats, but that's kind of the starting point when we're dealing with injured animals. Is I'll send people to rehab first because they have more experience in the medical side of things. Where I can come in handy with those cases is that nobody can be a jack of all trades. So typically those who are, say, a veterinarian that then got certified in rehab, they have so much knowledge that, maybe being an animal trainer isn't one of their skill sets. So then bringing in someone who trains animals to kind of help with that is a good idea. But if we're just thinking about, our pets aren't injured, we just want to improve their quality of life. There is not a certification for feline fitness. I don't know anybody who's really offering the feline fitness. So you would be more likely to go through, I guess, a canine fitness trainer. So there's a couple different programs for that. And I can link the directories as well for a canine fitness trainer. For massage, there's also different directories for massage. So if you go through rehab, a rehabilitation specialist can offer hands-on modalities such as massage. But to find a massage therapist, there isn't really a governing board or anything, so it gets a little bit more complicated to find somebody. The course, yeah. So um, I think good references are, I would probably, I'm just trying to think the best way to find a cat massage therapist, because I just don't think I think you're probably better off working with somebody who does rehab for pets, or a massage therapist that does cats and dogs. Because it actually started, I just had my canine fitness, or sorry, my canine massage certification, and I had someone reach out to me, would you consider massaging my cat? And I said, like, yeah, I could give it a try, and was massaging that cat before I ended up taking the course specific to felines. Sorry, I know that's not a super helpful answer. It's hard to find people that are specializing with this sort of thing in general, let alone with cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think times are changing. People are doing more with their cats, like when I started adventuring with my cats 10 years ago, it was not as popular as it is today.
Yeah,
And
totally.
granted, it's still not like, super
Yeah.
popular, but it's grown and it only
Yeah,
continues to grow. So I think all of these extra things that people are doing with their cats, like adventuring, training, fitness, it's all growing. And I mean, it can only go up from here, right? So hopefully,
totally.
with more time, these services will be more common and more widely available to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think we need to normalize doing more stuff with our cats, because I don't know, I seem to forget every time I take my cat out for a walk that we're gonna get a bunch of attention for doing this. I'm like in my pajamas, I'm like, I'm just doing my cat's thing for the day, and then I don't know, people like laughing or whatever at us.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like our cats deserve just as much care as our dogs do. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in cases where somebody might not have access to a massage therapist, maybe their city or maybe there's no one near them. Is it something that people can do at home, or is it more definitely something like you need training and stuff for to be able to do with your cat?
I think you'll definitely want some guidance. We just want to be aware of, there's a few things we want to be aware of when we're massaging an animal. We want to be aware of where their joints are. We don't want to massage directly on the joints or the bony prominences, but the bony landmarks can be good reference points for what muscles we're massaging. And then I think, so having an idea where the skeletal system is and trying to avoid that with our massage techniques and not putting pressure on those areas, and having just a general idea on some of the superficial muscles, I think is really helpful. Like, okay, well, right now I'm massaging the deltoid, so I'm going to start at the origin and then go down to the insertion. And probably even more so than knowing where the muscles are, just knowing the different techniques and how much pressure to use and the speed to use. I find that humans, we go really fast and we use a lot of pressure when we massage our animals, and they don't really have like the cognitive ability to know that it's beneficial. So deep tissue massage is likely to just be painful. And I find that people just kind of want to rush, and that's more likely to stimulate the muscles than relax the muscles. So I would say the guidance is definitely helpful in just kind of having an idea on where things are in the body and how much pressure to use and that sort of thing.
Are you going to come out with a feline massage therapy course?
I mean, I can consider it. There's the cat stuff just isn't as popular, but we'll see, because I have actually some really great videos of some client cats. My cat, if I am like, I'm gonna go massage my cat, he's like, there's no way this is happening. But so usually his massages are, I'm relaxing, he'll come lay on me and let me know he would like a massage, and that's when I massage him. So I think getting videos of me massaging bones would be very difficult, but yes, I am open to it if there is interest in creating a feline massage course.
Yeah.
I just came out with a canine massage course that wasn't as popular as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, like I mean, the principles could probably be applied to cats. It's pretty much the same idea. It's just it's not specific to cats. This one is like specific to dogs and dog anatomy. But yeah, I'm open to doing whatever the people are wanting.
Well, we have one vote for
Got one for
um
definitely keep it in mind.
you have a question. Tasha is asking, is there a specific time frame that you recommend completing? Like in rehab, people go for X amount of weeks for one condition versus longer or shorter for another.
Yeah, so I'm assuming this is referring to like the fitness, and so it just kind of depends, I guess, what your goals are. If there's a specific concern, it's going to maybe depend on when we're seeing results for that specific concern. For me personally, like for myself and my pets, we're going to do fitness for life as long as we're able to, just because it makes us feel good, and it reduces the risk of pain flare-ups for myself, and it does the same for my animals. So it's not, I'm not just doing like a 6-week boot camp and then never exercising again. I want it to be like a lifelong thing with my pets. Even if it's not the feline fitness specifically, just making sure that I'm always keeping my pets active and enriched and healthy and that sort of thing.
Yeah. What about for massage therapy? Is it kind of the same idea?
It depends. Yeah. Like, depending when I feel an animal, if it's, if there's a lot of tension, then, I might start, I'm like, well, let's do this like once a week until we can, for a few weeks, and then we can start spreading it out. Obviously it depends on people's budget as well. We don't all have just like millions of dollars to spend on cat massage, but, yeah, it just really depends on the individual, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Another question, Connie is asking, how important would it be to do feline fitness for a cat with cerebellar hypoplasia? I'm glad you asked that. Connie and I both have a cats with cerebellar hypoplasia. And yeah, it would be interesting to know what kind of exercises would help.
Yeah. I would be, there's a few things I'd want before working with cats with that condition. I'd want to have approval by a neurologist, and just making sure that, the exercises that I suggest are going to be appropriate for the individual. I would say, yes, it would be a really good idea to talk to their neurologist about potentially if there's any exercise restrictions for the cat. But in general, it would be a really good idea. That would just be a case where I'd have to work with a veterinarian as well. But improving, their spatial awareness and proprioception, I think would be really good for their quality of life.
Yeah, I know my cat Sophie, she has CH and she's 12 now, and we've had her since she was about a year old. And when we first got her, she was a lot more wobbly than she is today. I was just playing with her and encouraging her to play with this wand toy and get up and move around. And I think encouraging the physical activity helped to build her muscles. So I imagine like some actual fitness exercises would help a lot.
Definitely. I think it would be really beneficial. We just have to be so careful when it comes to specific concerns. Like, it's not something we ever want to DIY or anything, because there is always the risk of doing fitness exercises incorrectly and accidentally making things worse. So it is important, if we're going to be doing the targeted exercise with our pets, that we are working with a professional who is credentialed and that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. That's where having that online course that you have, I'm sure, would be a great resource. And do you also do like consultations and like private sessions with people online?
I do, yeah. So I offer custom programming. So I'm local to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So I'll do it in person for people that are local to me. But I also do custom programs online for both cats and dogs. And yeah, so it'll involve just, an intake form, an assessment of how the cat is currently, their current structure, posture, movement, and gait. And then making an exercise routine specific to that cat and what their certain weaknesses or might be, or what would benefit the cat specifically to help optimize their posture and movement and quality of life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It's really rewarding, especially the cats, I think, just because we don't see it so often, that it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's really awesome too that, I mean, technology is so great these days that you're able to assess those things and do it all the way from Canada, for people anywhere in the world, I guess. And that makes it more accessible. I know we were talking about how difficult it would be to maybe find these services locally for most of us, I imagine.
Yeah.
But to know that there's somebody who can help us online.
Or at least, try and guide, like, okay, well, let's see, an orthopedic specialist and see what they have to say and that sort of thing, right? It's
Yeah.
interesting because obviously what I do is very, very niche. It was solely in person until COVID hit. And that was obviously, like a really scary time, but in a way, it was a big blessing for me and my business because it was what pushed me online. And it's just been wonderful being able to help people all around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. It's COVID was obviously a very
Yeah.
horrible thing, but some good things came out of it. Businesses adapted and found all these new ways to help and reach more people. And that's awesome that you were able to make that shift. And now you're helping people everywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mentioned that Sarah has her website, sitstaysquat.ca, so you can find her course and information about your consultations and custom plans as well, all on your website.
Yep.
And then you can follow her at Sit Stay Squat on Instagram. I've been following her for some time now, and definitely check her out because she's got some really interesting posts, just more about fitness for both dogs and cats. So it's an interesting profile to follow. So I recommend.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sarah, thank you so much for this. This is very enlightening and interesting. I mean, I admittedly came into this with, very small, almost no knowledge of these things. And my interest is piqued even more. And I thank you for sharing all of your knowledge and your time with us.
Thank you. This was great. Thank you so much for having me.